Hi, this is 4.4a. We're going to look at a piecewise function. So for x less than or equal to 1, here's 1. We're looking at x squared plus 1. That's this line right here. For x greater than 1, we're looking at this quadratic that faces down. If we were to graph that, that's this line here. Okay? So if we had the question, determine the area on the interval from negative 2 to 3, from negative 2 to 3, we're looking at the area under the lines. Okay, so basically what we would do is integrate. We're integrating from negative 2 to 3 of f of x dx. But we have to break this down into pieces. So we're going to break it down from 1 to negative 2. And we use that function right here, x squared plus 1 dx. And we're going to add the second piece from 1 to 3. And so we use this equation right here. Negative x squared plus 10x minus 7 dx. Okay, so let's go ahead and integrate this right here. We add 1 to the 2, multiply by the reciprocal, and then we have plus x. And this is all going to be calculated from 1 to negative 2. Okay, we're going to add that, integrate this. We add 1 to the 2 and get 3, multiply by the reciprocal. Don't forget that negative. And here we're going to add 1 to the x, the 1 up there, and then we multiply by the reciprocal, multiply by what's there. And the derivative of negative 7, sorry, not derivative, integral 7 is negative 7x. And all of this, we're going to go from 1 to 3. Okay, so on the first one, we're going to put 1 in here first. We get 1/3 plus 1. And we're going to take that and minus it by putting in a negative 2. Negative 2 in there is negative 8. And negative 2 in there is negative 2. Okay, so that's minus. Remember, we put it in b minus a. All right, so that's one group. Okay, now for this one, I like to keep these because we're going to have a minus in here. All right, so here we're going to put in a 3. So we have negative 27 over 3. Put in a 3 here, plus 5 times 9. Put it in 3 here, minus 21. Okay, now this minus sign, I'm going to put parentheses here so I don't make a mess of it. Okay, now we put 1 in there. So we have negative 1/3 plus 5 minus 7. Okay, so I'm going to just write what the solution is. I'm sure you can figure out the rest on your own. So here is the solution. So you can try it on your own to make sure you get it. So the answer is 23 1/3. Okay, so let's go on to another type of question. We're going to look at two functions. Okay, so the first one's going to be f of x equals 2x plus 8, and g of x equals negative x squared plus 3. Okay, I'm going to loosely graph this. Okay, so we have f of x, okay, and then we have g of x. Again, loosely graphing it. Okay, so let's say we wanted to do the same thing that we did before. We're looking at on from negative 2 to 3. We want to look for the area. Well, if 3 is here and negative 2 is here, what we're looking for is the area between the two of them. Okay? All right, so what we have to do is f of x minus g of x. Again, this is g of x down here. All right, so the area is going to be the integration from -2 to 3 of f of x minus g of x dx. Okay, so let's continue on this one. As you know, we can separate these with the integral. -2 to the 3 f of x dx minus the integral from -2 to 3 g of x dx. Okay, so let's do that. -2 to 3, f of x is 2x plus 8. Oops, I have a 1 here. This should be an 8. Okay, dx minus the integration from -2 to 3 of gx, which is -x squared plus 3 dx. Okay, so from here, we're going to go ahead and integrate. I'll erase this right here. Okay, integrating. Well, let me write this again because I can't quite see what we're doing here. 2x plus 8 dx plus, minus, because we're taking this minus this. We always take the top one minus the one on the bottom. -2 to 3 x squared plus 3 dx. Okay, so now we're going to integrate. Add 1 to the exponent gives us square. Divide by 2 and multiply this by 2. That 2 right there. All right. Then this integration of 8 is 8x, and we're going to do that from -2 to 3. Okay, we're going to minus integration of -x squared. Add 1, divide by 1, don't forget that negative, plus 3x, and we're going from -2 to 3. All right, so we'll put 3 in here. This cancels out. We have 9. 3 times 8 is 24. And we're going to minus, putting a -2 in there. We get 4. -2 the squared is 4. -2 in there, minus 16. Okay, minus. We'll put all this in here. All right, put 3 in here. We get 27 over 3, which is 9. So we have -9 plus 9 minus, oh, that's easy, huh? All right, -2 in there, -8, which is plus 8/3 minus 6. Okay, so let's check this out. Let's see. So when we do all this and put it together, we should have 41.67. Okay, I'm going to do a problem that's in WebAssign. I'm going to get you started on this problem. It's question number 2. And then I'm going to have you do some work and come back and watch 4.4b. Okay, because we're going to break this down. All right, so this is number 2 on WebAssign. F of x equals x minus 1, and g of x equals -2, and we're going to integrate on the on the interval from -3 to 1. Okay, so the first thing we'd have to do, if we were to graph this, okay, graph this. All right, well, this is easy. G of x is -2. There's our -2. There's g of x. All right. Next one, f of x is x minus 1. Okay, if we put in a 0, we get -1. If we put in 2, we get 1. If we put in -1, we get -2. Okay, so if this is x, put a 0, we get a -1. If we put 2, we get 1, -1, -2, so it's going to look like this. Okay. All right, so we're going from -3. Here's -3. all the way to 1. And 1 is right there. That's 1. Okay. So what we have to look at is the area here and the area here. Okay. Now notice this one was f of x. And this one was g of x. Again, we're going to have to do this in pieces because g of x is the higher one here, but it's the lower one here. So we're going to go from this point to this point. This is -1 right here. So right here, we're going to integrate from -3 to -1 of g of x minus f of x dx. We take g of x minus f of x, and we figure that in. And then we're going to add that from -1 to 1. That's this piece right here. F of x is on top, so we have f of x minus g of x dx. Okay, I'm going to let you do that on your own. What I'd like you to do in WebAssign is 1 through 4 for now, and then come back and watch the next videotape. Okay.